I've been a clinical psychologist for 15 years. In Manhattan, Upper West Side, I've sat across from hundreds of people who thought they were hiding something. Most of them were right. Some of them were wrong, and a very few, were being watched by someone they never suspected. The woman sitting across from me today believes she is the smartest person in her marriage. She is wrong. What she does not yet understand is that control, once questioned, is already gone. The patient who came to my office tonight is 31, a graphic designer from Williamsburg, married for 3 years, with a relationship spanning 8. She tells me calmly, almost clinically, that she is having an affair. 6 months, ongoing, controlled, managed. Her word, not mine. She frames the affair as a solution, not a problem, a necessary adjustment to emotional deprivation. In her version of events, nothing is broken, everything is balanced. This is the first distortion, the belief that parallel lives can exist without collision. From a diagnostic perspective, the marriage she describes is not abusive, not volatile, not overtly dysfunctional. It is quiet, predictable, emotionally vacant. Her husband works late, corporate law, midtown. She calls him present but absent. What she's describing aligns with emotional abandonment, not the dramatic kind, the silent kind, the kind that accumulates slowly until validation becomes a psychological necessity rather than a preference. She meets the other man at a brewery in Gowanus. Industrial space, string lights, communal tables. He listens. That is the detail she emphasizes repeatedly. He listens in ways her husband no longer does. What this pattern suggests is an attachment transfer, the redirection of unmet emotional needs toward a responsive target. It is not sudden, it is gradual, and once established, it is difficult to reverse. She justifies the transition as harmless. Conversations, messages, emotional support, no immediate boundaries crossed. This is how most affairs begin, not with intent, but with permission. Cognitive dissonance emerges quickly. She knows the behavior conflicts with her identity, so she adjusts the identity. This is not betrayal. This is survival. That is the narrative she builds. The relationship escalates. Emotional intimacy transitions into physical proximity. At this point, the affair is no longer situational. It becomes structural, part of her routine. She maintains her marriage, same apartment on Bedford Avenue, same routines, same dinners. Meanwhile, a second life runs parallel. This is where fragmentation begins. She believes she controls both realities, messages deleted, calls erased, timelines managed. Control in her mind equals safety. From a diagnostic perspective, what she calls control is dependency. The affair partner has become her primary source of narcissistic supply, validation, attention, emotional oxygen. She cannot leave her husband, not because she loves him, because she fears being alone. This is abandonment trauma presenting as indecision. She describes her situation as balanced, stable, sustainable. What she fails to recognize is that stability built on deception is inherently temporary. The first fracture appears not in her behavior, but in her assumptions. She assumes her husband is unaware. She assumes absence equals ignorance. He is not unaware. He has known for months. He has not confronted her. He has not reacted. He has been observing. What this pattern suggests is calculated restraint. He tracks her phone, monitors her movements, documents inconsistencies. This is not emotional response. This is strategic behavior. He does not interrupt the affair. He allows it to continue. This is where the dynamic shifts. He is no longer a passive participant. From a diagnostic perspective, his behavior aligns with premeditated legal positioning, evidence collection, pattern documentation, future leverage.
She believes she is the one with the secret. In reality, she is the subject of one.
The deeper fracture emerges when I examine timelines. The first meeting was not accidental. The husband introduced them indirectly through a shared social circle. What this pattern suggests is intentional exposure. He placed her in proximity to a compatible emotional replacement, not by force, by design. This was not reactive, it was planned. 18 months of behavioral positioning. He did not discover the affair, he enabled it. At this point, the framework collapses. She is not choosing, she is responding to a system already in motion. From a diagnostic perspective, both individuals are engaged in manipulation, different methods, same objective, control. And then there is a third layer, my role, observation, documentation, interpretation. The question becomes unavoidable. Am I outside the system or part of it? She still believes she is in control. She still believes she is unseen. I now understand that neither belief is accurate. The session ends without resolution. She leaves with the same narrative she entered with: control, balance, secrecy. This case continues. What would you have done? Comment below. Subscribe for the next session.